All right, breaking news on TYT Sports. Donald Sterling has been banned. He's been banned for life by the NBA. Commissioner Adam Silver just issued a ruling. The tape that was authenticated where he said that he doesn't want black people showing up at his games and all the other hideous racist comments, that's been authenticated as being Sterling's voice. And the commissioner has issued his ruling, and it is final, it is binding, and it is heavy-handed.
It is a ban for life. It is $2.5 million fine. And also he said he's going to go straight to forcing Donald Sterling to sell the team. Now, there was always the talk about whether or not he can get him out of league or oust him somehow or cut him off some way, and everyone's thinking legally, can he? Because then there's a lawsuit that's going to come and all this comes down. So I'm not sure the details of how he can make that part happening, but that's what he says he's vowing to do.
So this is how he can force him out of the league. The owners have to get together, and 3/4 of the owners have to decide we're going to kick him out. And if they decide that, then he's out. And obviously, if he gets kicked out and you're a lone franchise, it's worth nothing. So he's going to want to sell. So this is how you force him to sell the team by saying we're going to actually threaten. Well, we're going to threaten to kick you out, or we're going to actually kick you out. And knowing Sterling, he'll probably go to the brink, force him to have this vote, and once the votes come in against him, at that point he'll probably sell.
Now, do you think it's feasible that the votes will come in at the 3/4 mark? I mean, again, this is one of the things. This is one of the consequences of having these kinds of thoughts. And people say, "Oh, he's alone in his house. It's personal views. He can be an idiot." I don't agree with him, but he gets to have it. You get to get ousted from society. Your peers should vote you out, which I don't know. Again, you can answer the question what you think of what they should do, and you should be ashamed. You should be embarrassed, and you should understand that society is nowhere near your views.
A couple of things. One, I think that vote will come in against Donald Sterling for a number of reasons. One, he's not a wall-like person. It's not like the other owners really like him. He is an asshole. He's been in trouble for the league. He doesn't care to run a responsible franchise. So that's strike one. Strike two is that sponsors are fleeing. They've lost a ton of sponsors in the last 48 hours because they don't want to be associated with this guy. So that's strike two.
There was like levels of those sponsors, just a hit on that. Some said we're done, it's over. Others said we'll suspend it and see what happens. Basically like, hey, you guys can get our money back if you go ahead and get rid of the problem.
Exactly. So that's strike two. And strike three comes from the players. What players want to play for this team? Okay? Even Doc Rivers said he may not coach the team next year. So they lose a coach, they lose players. It's going to cause a league-wide problem. He has to go.
And this is right when the Clippers have this uprising of success, really, for the first time, when no one's ever mentioned the Clippers have a potential championship team, which they're not yet. But, it's potentially.
But from the perspective of the other owners, let's say you're the owner of the Kings, and your players find out that you were one of the few guys who voted in favor of keeping Sterling around, and therefore Sterling isn't ousted. Well, you might lose your players too. So the league has a very strong interest in making this happen. So I want to back up a little bit and address this issue of whether this punishment is fair or not fair, and then whether it's legal or not legal. There's going to be a bunch of you listening who are going to say, this is bullshit, whatever happened to our First Amendment rights. The First Amendment has nothing to do with this issue. The First Amendment is only about government limiting your speech. Private corporations can do whatever they want. The NBA can issue a ruling that says you cannot speak about the NFL. If you say one word about the NFL, you're fired, you're banned. They can do that. Secondly, this is a voluntary contract that Sterling entered into. When he became an owner and a franchisee of this league, he has to agree to certain terms and conditions, which he did, and for which he made a lot of money. So for example, if you started a McDonald's franchise and you started saying, well, I'm not gonna have blacks in my restaurant, I'm not gonna have any Mexicans or Koreans or whatever it may be, the McDonald's Corporation has a right to kick you out. Okay, you sign that contract that says you're going to abide by the law or the rules of this franchise, this private organization. You have to abide by them. It's got nothing to do with the First Amendment. So now the question, JR, is: do you think it's a fair punishment and a just punishment?
You know what? I'm surprised that it's the fair punishment that I was hoping for. Again, it's one of those things where people need to put on notice. This is absolutely unacceptable. We use the strong words. We call them deplorable, a pariah to society, an idiot, a racist, and then go, okay, so what do we say all these words for? These are empty words now. We need action behind these things. He has action behind his beliefs. Why is there no action behind positive beliefs? So again, put everyone on notice, because I don't want to bring it too far into this, but Mark Cuban's on my shit list right now because he said yesterday, before the decision came down, he's against the ousting of Donald Sterling because who's next? Whoever should be next. Whoever else shares
Mark,
these views
who
is
next. You tell us, right?
So be afraid, and then also think about what you believe and why it's bad. This is the last layer of what I'd like to come from this is there needs to be an explanation, because a lot of people somehow don't get it, that there's consequences behind these people having these kind of views. So when you're an owner of the team and you have power and you have control of other people's lives, as Donald Sterling pointed out in one of the points of the video, I give them their food, their clothes, their cars, their houses. No, you don't. But they give you all that. But in that thought, he thinks he has control over people's lives. So when you have this kind of view and you have control of other people's lives, the very people that you despise, it's anti-human.
Yeah. Also, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances, right? If this is Sterling's first offense, I don't think anyone would be this outraged. I mean, even if he said the exact same words that he said, no one would be this outraged. But he has a history of this. He has a history of discrimination in the real world, okay? I mean, honestly, I think his desire to not have black people at his games is unbelievable to me, but it's actually the least damaging thing that he's done. Because the worst part of what he's doing is the housing discrimination, where he's a wealthy man with a lot of assets in LA, a lot of property, and he's not allowing certain race of people to live in his buildings, or he lets them live there under horrendous conditions and, just treats them like shit with utter disregard. I have a bigger problem with that, and for that, he's been fined millions of dollars by the federal government, and there was a lawsuit against him. So he has a track record of being a bad guy.
Based in
and he's also a bad businessman in the sense that he's a bad owner for the franchise. The franchise has the worst record of any franchise in any of the 4 major sports in North America. So he's just not someone that the league wants as part of the organization.
There's no losing from the league for getting rid of this guy. You don't lose anything.
Yeah, the league wins. The league cleans up its image. The league gets to look good. The league gets to get more sponsors. The league gets rid of this annoying pain in the ass owner that other owners don't like.
And lastly, Adam Silver, he's the new commissioner. David Stern was the commissioner forever. He's like the face of the commissioner of the league. You don't think of anyone else with the NBA as far as commissioners go. This is his first big test, and he knew he had to pass it. This is huge, and I congratulate him.
I think Adam Silver stamped his mark on the NBA, and we know how it's going to be run, and I congratulate him.
Yeah.
I'm calling it Silver Justice.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.